decisions if I had that.
So whether you like it or not, Myriad owns that gene that's in both of you, correct?
Yes, correct.
No one invented my gene. They didn't change or alter my gene. All they're doing is actually looking at it. Crazy.
Lori Andrews agrees. She's a professor at Chicago Kent College of Law and has made a specialty of genetics.
When we think of patents, we think of things like Thomas Edison and his light bulb, guys who invented things.
You're right about what the patent was intended to do, which was to reward inventors who brought something new in the world. But the patent on human genes, it's as if the first surgeon who took a kidney out of your body then patented the kidney.
It all started in 1980 when the Supreme Court ruled that a life form, a genetically altered bacterium used to clean up oil spills, could be patented. Biotech companies saw that as an open door to patent another life form, human genes. Since then, nearly 10,000 have been patented, nearly a third of the genes in your body and mine. Lori Andrews says those patents can have serious implications for health care.
A typical gene patent says, I own the gene, I own any mutation later found by anybody else, I own any treatment based on the gene later found by anybody else, and in this case, Myriad owns breast cancer.
Myriad won a fierce scientific race to identify the first breast cancer gene in 1994. Soon after, they patented the discovery, and since then, the company has maintained complete control over testing and has aggressively marketed its own test.
I found out my risk through BRCA.
More than 400,000 women have been tested for the gene, but Professor Andrews says that Myriad's history of patent enforcement has inhibited research and is preventing better detection.
Here's the problem with having one company own the gene. There actually is better testing in countries that don't patent the genes, because then lots of different pathologists and laboratories can look at those genes and some find mutations that the Myriad test missed.
There's the issue of cost. In most of Europe and Canada, where Myriad's patents have been challenged or ignored, the test is given at a fraction of the $3,200 Myriad charges.
If the breast cancer gene was in the public domain, how much do you think it would cost for a woman to be tested?
I think maybe $300. I've had people, geneticists, tell me they'd be willing to do it for less than that.
Myriad declined our interview request, but in a statement, the company says its patents have greatly advanced women's health, that Myriad has encouraged research, and the company argues that there are ways for women to get second opinions. But those second opinions do not include a full comprehensive screening. Myriad is not the only company that aggressively enforces its gene patents. Dr. Aubrey Molunsky, a world-renowned geneticist, knows that firsthand. He's the head of Boston University's Center for Human Genetics.
The detection of genes and gene defects have become critically important because of the massive advances in technology.
And yet you're prohibited from looking at certain genes.
We have been stopped from offering some 14 different tests for relatively common conditions.
Stopped by whom?
I'm really not allowed to talk about them. I'm legally muzzled about that particular subject.
He can't talk about it, but we can. Molunsky can no longer perform gene tests for disorders like muscular dystrophy, polycystic kidney disease, and for a gene that can cause deafness. That's because a company called Athena Labs sent him a cease and desist letter when it found out he was testing people for genes they owned.
The gene is a natural living thing. How on earth can anyone allow patenting of a gene?
He's particularly concerned because we've now reached the point where our entire genetic makeup can be examined in one relatively simple test.
But you may have problems because if there is a gene within that bunch that indeed has been patented, you can't even report on it. Actually, and the lawyers say you shouldn't even be testing it because that's infringing the patent.
When our story continues, we'll meet a molecular biologist who says the high price we pay for biotech industry patents is actually a fair way to reward those companies for their investments. And 60 Minutes on CNBC returns.